Hello everyone, for Channel 6 TV Community Focus, I'm Dennis George, and next week Kentuckians will be going to the polls to elect their constitutional office holders, and we're going to talk about that today. And don't read anything to where these gentlemen are sitting. To my right, Representative David Floyd, a Republican out of Bardstown, and welcome here.
Hello, thank you, Dennis.
And welcome to Lebanon.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Well, good, and to my left, Representative from the Democratic side, Terry Mills from Lebanon. And Terry, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
And we're going to go through several of the races that are on the ballot, kind of talk about, get the input, the thoughts of these two gentlemen from each side of the aisle. And we kind of talked about it. We couldn't figure out if the top of the ballot should start with the governor's race or if that would be at the bottom of the ballot because of some of the things that are going on in this year's race. But we're going to start at the bottom of the ticket, which is a race that really bears some significance to us because it's agriculture and obviously a lot of farming that goes on in this area. The Republican, Ryan Quarles, running against Jean Marie Lawson Spann. David, you've served with Ryan Quarles. You want to talk about him a little bit?
I think Ryan's in his second, perhaps third term, and he's a good fella. He's a young man. I forget how old he is, probably about 31 or 2, and graduate of the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, farming as he grew up. I think he grew crops in order to pay for his college. Focus on international business and marketing Kentucky products. Ryan's a real good fella, He's doing a great job.
Okay, and Terry, obviously you've met and probably campaigned and been with Jean Marie. Do you know a lot about her? I know her family's in agriculture as well.
I have, and I haven't spent a lot of time with Jean Marie. I do know that she has a background in agribusiness. Her family has operated some implement dealerships. She also worked in the patent administration, has a lot of experience in marketing, international marketing, and is very passionate about doing work. And part of her platform is to get our food products labeled for GMOs. And I know that's she went to Western Kentucky University, which is the same place I went to.
Does that make her a good person just by doing that, probably?
Well, not necessarily. She went a lot later than I did. I do know that.
Well, I would say a lot of people went later than any of us to school. Would you agree?
That's true. That's true.
Well, one other thing on Ryan. They had an article in the Kentucky Standard. Jean Marie had come to town, and they had an article, and they talked about her background in agribusiness and I guess her radio program with her dad or something like that. And then they said her opponent, Ryan Quarles, is a lawyer and a state representative. Well, I mean, of course, he grew up on a farm and he's been in farming all his life. So I almost wrote a letter to the editor about that, but it was a little short shrift for Ryan's Quarles agricultural experience.
Yeah, Ryan. I've worked with Ryan now, as has David, for about 5 years, and I believe he came in 10. I'm not sure about that. What's a few years? But Ryan's a good guy. Actually, I went to Turkey with Ryan.
Oh, you went on that trip? Huh?
On a trip with Ryan. So we spent a lot and got to know Ryan pretty well.
All right. Would both of you agree that whichever candidate wins, they're going to have some big shoes to follow with Jamie Comer moving out of agriculture, that he has done a nice job coming in and doing it. What pressures do you see coming to the next Secretary of Agriculture?
Well, Ag has a lot of responsibilities that we don't even think about, like weights and measures. And, Jamie has done a great job. He had a mess to clean up, and he invited the auditor in to get all the Richie Farmer stuff. And that was just really unfortunate for Richie and, of course, for the state. But I think the focus for probably both candidates is increasing the marketability of Kentucky products and international business, as well as those routine day-to-day operations that the office has a responsibility for.
Yeah, and I think one test and one big item for whoever gets elected is where we go with the hemp industry now. I read an article this morning in one of the statewide papers that talked about hemp as replacing tobacco, and we're not there yet. but some say there's potential for that. And there are some investors coming into Kentucky and spending some money kind of betting on the future with hemp. So I think that'll be a big thing for them, along with the day-to-days and policy issues, State Fair and Kentucky Proud products and all of those things. So it's a big job. It's an important job.
Sure.
As moderator, I'm probably supposed to stay neutral, but in my observation in this race, and I'll throw it out and then I'm going to let you guys talk about it, it appears to me that the momentum is with Quarles. Is that true, false? And I know everybody wants to be positive for their candidates, but how do you see the race if it were held today?
I don't know the reason why. Early on in the campaign, early on when the Democratic nominee, Jean Marie, was won. Was there a primary, right? She won a primary?
Yes.
And I just heard some, farmers in general really like Ryan. And there was some talk about Jean Marie, and I don't repeat anything negative, but it was just a negative impression, either of her or her family. I don't remember what it was. And so there was a jump there, Dennis. There was a jump ahead. And it's possible also that people are tending toward younger candidates and fresher approaches. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
How do you guys see it on your side?
Yeah, and well, I mean, early on, Ryan had the endorsement, I believe, of Senator McConnell, which is not a small force in this state, which was a good thing for Ryan. And honestly, I believe for Jean Marie, the fact that she's female may be an obstacle that she needs to overcome, and I've spent a lot of time with her, and I definitely think that she's qualified to do it. But I just wonder sometimes about that. Are we there yet to where we can consider a female and a male identically the same in a political race? Just a question, not making judgments.
Do you think because it's a race for agriculture as opposed, because we've had other office holders, at that level, in other positions, we've had females. But do you think agriculture makes it a little bit different because we tend to look at the mother of the farm being the backbone, but the male counterpart being the one?
Yeah, I wouldn't get too deep into that analysis as to the culture surrounding agriculture and the fact that there are a lot of older folks, older men running farms and in agriculture in Kentucky. So I believe she has overcome that, and we definitely don't want that to be a factor.
Sure.
But I just wonder from a realistic standpoint if it.
I don't. Of course, it's not just farmers electing the Commissioner of Agriculture, and it's the public at large. And I think, frankly, that women have a slight advantage over men. They don't even think about it's for ag or it's for whatever. It's just,
Yeah, I'll accept that. That sounds great.